Emotional abuse can be really hard to spot. Most of all because a lot of times we can't even identify that we're being emotionally abused, especially if we've been in pattern relationships where we've jumped from one person emotionally abusing us to the next. If you grew up in a household with a narcissistic parent, or maybe you had a narcissistic in-law, or you had a narcissistic sibling, these patterns that you have in childhood are going to set that expectation for you in your adult life. It doesn't mean that you are never going to be able to feel good. It doesn't mean you're always going to be in abusive relationships. The best news ever is that I'm going to help you today spot the signs of emotional abuse so that you can have awareness of what's okay and what's not okay, and have that little voice inside of you, that intuition that's going to say, this is something wrong and I want to make a change. So one of the first things to be able to spot of recognizing that you are in an emotionally abusive relationship is them constantly criticizing and degrading you, belittling or insulting you. Abusers are going to frequently demean you, and they're going to call you names or make harsh, insulting remarks. They might make comments about your weight, calling you thunder thighs. They might make comments about your appearance. Maybe you have a mole on your face and they're constantly making jokes at you. Maybe it has something to do with your intelligence. Maybe you're someone who's not very educated and they are always making comments about how stupid you are. It may not start as really harsh language. It might be something that they try to use humor at first and say, oh, I didn't mean that. I was just kidding. Not really, babe. Haha. Those are the types of things that a narcissist is going to do. And these are the things I want you to start recognizing as emotional abuse. It's not funny when someone demeans you. It's not funny when someone picks out the parts of you that you know you're insecure about. That's emotional abuse. Undermining your self-esteem, constantly trying to break down your confidence, making you feel worthless and inadequate, whether it's saying that you're just so overly emotional. Maybe they're saying to you things like, you're just really controlling. You're always really overbearing in a room, and then repeating this narrative to you over and over again. That's emotional abuse. That's them breaking you down and trying to undermine your self-confidence. Isolation is another thing that people will do to emotionally abuse you. They want to separate you from others so that you feel all alone. They will control social interactions by limiting your contact with friends and family. This can happen in romantic relationships, but it can also happen in families and work relationships. Maybe even telling you that other people don't really like you, and so you should just stay with them and hang with them. You might even feel, this is something that happened to me when I was in an emotionally abusive relationship with a narcissist. I would have always described myself as a super extroverted personality. And when I was in this emotionally abusive relationship, I started telling people, I'm an extrovert that's turned to an introvert. That's not a thing. That's the isolation of emotional abuse, where you feel unsafe in things that you used to love. And the narcissist will specifically do this to you so that they isolate you from everyone outside of them. Because once they have pecked off all these other people in your life, family members, friendships, whatever it is, if they can get rid of all of those people, then they have absolute complete control over you, and that's where they win. They will be very jealous and possessive over you. If it's a romantic relationship, they may say to you, I need you to delete every single boyfriend or male friend in your phone, out of your phone, because this would show to me that you are devoted to me. They're gonna ask you to cleave unto them, and maybe even sometimes use religious things from the Bible that are gonna be taken to an extreme to try to control you from your family. These things are done in all sorts of relationships, not just romantic relationships, but also in work relationships and family relationships as well. They are going to express irrational jealousy and possessiveness, accusing you sometimes of cheating on them if you're in a romantic relationship, infidelity, disloyalty without any reason. And all the rules that they have for you, by the way, are not the same rules that they play by. So if you have an agreement of, we're never gonna go to this place without each other, or we're never gonna talk to this friend group without both being there, and then all of a sudden you're like, yes, I'm devoted to you, yes, we're gonna stick together, it's you and me against the world. They'll make that comment a lot. It's you and me against the world. And when they do that, what they're doing is they are latching you to them, and they are not latching back to you. This is their supply. This is how they use you as source. This is how they suck away your self-worth and your security and make you completely reliant on them. And they're going to use your loyalty to a fault here. This is why emotional abuse is so invasive, because they eliminate everyone else around you. Then you're gonna find out that they were talking to someone else where you agreed they wouldn't talk to, or you went to a place where you agreed you wouldn't go to without each other. And then they'll have a beautiful excuse as to why they had to do it, and it's gonna make you feel badly about yourself, as if there's something wrong with you. They are gonna be manipulative and gaslighting to you. They're gonna make you doubt your own reality. This happens in all emotionally abusive relationships, where your abuser is going to twist the facts, making you doubt your own memory and perception and sanity. It's going to be shifting blame a lot, where they're going to refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They're going to blame you for their behavior and actions. If they do something wrong, they're going to turn it around and make it your fault. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, they're right, it is my fault. I shouldn't have worn that outfit. I shouldn't have gone to dinner with those friends. It's my fault that you got angry, because I shouldn't have done that thing without you. And it's an irrational sense of jealousy, an irrational sense of shifting blame on everyone else. The narcissist is always a victim, and sometimes the hero. It depends on what mood they're in, but this is how they emotionally abuse you. They will also emotionally withdraw and punish you to emotionally manipulate you. So the silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse that most people don't understand. And what that will look like is, maybe they won't text you for 3 days. Maybe they will, if you live in the house with them, or it's a roommate, or it's a work colleague, they will only speak to you on a needs to know basis, and they will completely ignore you the rest of the time. This is going to probably put you into a fawn trauma response. And that's going to leave you always walking on eggshells and trying to make it better, but you feeling miserable inside because you know something is wrong, you know you're in trouble, and you can't fix it. And all you're going to try to do, you're going to try to please them again. All you want is their praise and acceptance. And so you're going to go out of your way to do that, thinking that it's going to make you feel better, thinking that you're going to avoid future abuse, and it's only going to leave you feeling worse. This was the hardest thing for me to understand when I was in an emotionally abusive relationship. They're going to have mood swings where they're going to exhibit unpredictable mood swings. You might be dealing with a narcissist if you've ever Googled bipolar disorder. That's because emotionally abusive relationships are going to have really extreme mood swings. They're going to make you feel like you're constantly walking on those eggshells. They're going to withdraw from you doing that silent treatment as a form of punishment to make you suffer. And they're going to enjoy watching you suffer and squirm while you're trying to win them back. Emotional abusive relationships is control and dominance is at the heart of it. They want to make sure that they have all the decision-making control. The abuser is going to insist on controlling all the decisions, from finances to daily activities to undermining your autonomy. They're going to be monitoring and spying on things. They may be constantly watching your phone. And in an abusive romantic relationship, they might say, it's because I love you so much. I always want to know where you are every minute of the day. That's not normal. That's an emotionally abusive relationship. They will excessively monitor your activities, demanding to know your whereabouts and scrutinizing your personal communication with others. These are all signs of being in an emotionally abusive relationship. First step, if you're recognizing that these are some of the things that you're putting up with right now, is awareness. So bravo to you. If you're sitting here and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I think I might be in an emotionally abusive relationship. Step 1 is awareness. Good job. Step 2 is compassion. I felt fear the minute that I had awareness. And so if you're feeling fear right now of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is so scary. I don't know what to do now. I just want you to grab that heat blanket and wrap yourself in it, get a good book, take a bath, just comfort that part of you that's afraid right now. And I just want you to know it's gonna get better. So awareness, that's step one. Step two is compassion. Anyone would be afraid right now. Anyone could have found themselves in an emotionally abusive relationship. Do you wanna know what the one key factor among all people that are ever abused is? It's that you are available to be abused. It's that simple. It doesn't mean that you are worthless. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It doesn't mean that you are at fault. You didn't ask to be put in this situation. You didn't do something that deserved this. So have compassion for yourself about anyone would feel this way. Anyone could have got caught up in something like this just like you. There you go, being human again. And then step three, first awareness, compassion. Step three is curiosity. If you didn't have to live in this emotionally abusive relationship any longer, what could you do? How could you feel? What would it look like to leave? What would it like to set boundaries? Curiosity is the ace up your sleeve. And I know that if you're watching this video right here, that you're so much stronger than you think you are.